Anthropic just released Claude Opus 5 and it has taken the AI world by storm. It outrightly beats both GPT 5.6 SOL and Fable 5 across majority of the most crucial categories, all while costing half the price. The response has been overwhelming and the AI community is on a roll. So the question is, what actually is Opus 5? What is it capable of? And what makes it so different from every other AI model? How does it stack up and beat the very best models we had so far? What are some caveats that we need to consider while using Opus 5? And finally, based on all the real-world tests and findings, who should really switch to this new model? Let's have a complete breakdown of Opus 5 and have an honest picture of what everyone wants to know. Here we go.
Starting off with, what really is Opus 5? As everything ahead in the video depends on this basic understanding, reshaping how we think about which Claude model to actually go for. Anthropic has just released Claude Opus 5, positioned as the successor to Opus 4.8 and built specifically for complex agentic coding, enterprise workflows, and the kind of daily high-value work most of us actually spend our time on. The pitch, straight from Anthropic itself, is near Fable 5 performance at roughly half the cost of their top publicly available model. Here is how it looks like. Opus 5 carries a full 1 million token context window, with max output at 128,000 tokens, extendable up to 300,000 through the Message Batches API. It handles text and images as input, text as output, and supports multiple languages plus vision. Thinking is now adaptive by default, with effort levels ranging from low to medium high, extra high, and max, with high set as the default on both the API and Claude code. Manual extended thinking has been removed entirely, matching the direction Anthropic's recent Sonnet and Opus releases have already taken. Its knowledge cutoff sits at May 2026, genuinely newer than both Fable 5 and Sonnet 5, which were trained on data through January. It's live right now across Claude.ai, the API, Claude Code, Claude Cowork, Amazon Bedrock, Google Cloud, Microsoft Foundry, and partner tools like Cursor. It's the new default on Claude Max and the strongest model available on Claude Pro. On pricing, Anthropic made a deliberate choice here. Opus 5 costs exactly the same as Opus 4.8, $5 per million input tokens, 25 per million output. That's genuinely half of Fable 5's rate. And importantly, it also comes in cheaper on output than GPT 5.6 SOL's $30. One creator running the official numbers side by side said it plainly, admitting they expected Opus 5 to land somewhere between Fable 5 and Opus 4.8 and calling what actually shipped totally unexpected. So that's the launch. Now let's get into something what everyone wants to know about Opus 5. Is it really so better than Fable 5 and GPT Sol? And this is where the real surprise lives. This is where everything changes, and once we actually walk through the benchmark numbers, it becomes clear just how one-sided this comparison turned out to be. Starting with Frontier Bench, the agentic terminal coding benchmark, and arguably the most important one in the whole set. Opus 5 scored 43% against Fable 5's 33, a genuinely massive jump. On GDPva, a benchmark built by OpenAI specifically to test real-world practical tasks, Opus 5 posted roughly a 100-point improvement over Fable 5. On ARC-AGI-3, the novel problem-solving benchmark, Opus 5 hit 30%, nearly triple what the previous best model scored. On BrowseComp, Opus 5 came in at 90% against Fable's 87. On Humanity's Last Exam, both with and without tool access, the two models landed basically even, with Opus 5 posting a slight edge. On OS World, the computer use benchmark that tests a model's ability to actually navigate a screen and click through tasks, Opus 5 improved 4 points over Fable. On DeepSui, considered by many the single most predictive coding benchmark available, the two models were essentially tied, with only a very slight drop for Opus 5. On Automation Bench, Opus 5 posted a solid 9-point improvement. There were two areas where Opus 5 actually came in behind. Legal benchmark performance dropped from 13.3 to 11.7, and Health Bench Professional saw a decrease as well. Biosecurity-related benchmarks landed roughly even. So across essentially the entire benchmark suite, Opus 5 is beating Fable 5 outright, tied with it, or trailing by a small margin in exactly two narrow domains. That's the majority win pattern that's been generating so much attention this week. Now just pay a little more attention. as here's the part that makes it genuinely remarkable rather than just impressive on paper. Opus 5 isn't winning by spending more to get there. On a chart plotting benchmark score against cost per task, Opus 5 sits both higher and further to the left than Fable 5 and Opus 4.8, meaning it's simultaneously better and cheaper. Even against GPT 5.6 SOL at its absolute lowest cost setting, matching Opus 5's performance at Opus 5's own lowest effort level still costs more than double. The one place Opus 5 is genuinely and intentionally behind is cybersecurity exploitation specifically. It scores stronger than Opus 4.8 on cyber tasks generally, but remains well behind Mythos 5 at actually developing working exploits. That gap looks deliberate. Anthropic appears to have built in guardrails specifically around offensive cyber capability, while somehow still improving the model's overall performance everywhere else, which is unusual since stripping out a capability normally drags a model's broader performance down too. That didn't happen here. There's also a concrete safety number worth mentioning. Anthropic said Opus 5's safety classifiers are expected to intervene roughly 85% less often than Fable 5's, a specific testable claim rather than vague language about reduced deceptive behavior. Fable 5 users might not like this, but Opus 5 genuinely beats Fable 5 across the majority of benchmarks that matter, that too at half the price. But the comparison a lot of us are actually more curious about is a different one. Opus 5 versus GPT 5.6 SOL. Can you guess what happens here? Let's find out.
As you move to the most crucial portion of the video, do tell me which AI is your absolute favorite. Plus, hit that like button and press that lonely subscribe button as well.
With Opus 5 landing at nearly identical pricing to SOL, the practical question for most of us has genuinely shifted. It's not really Opus 5 versus Fable 5 anymore. It's Opus 5 versus SOL. And here's how I see that comparison actually shaking out. On aggregate intelligence scoring, Opus 5 comes out ahead of SOL overall, and the gap is widest specifically in coding. On hard software engineering benchmarks, Opus 5 pulls a meaningful lead. And on code mergeability specifically, meaning how often generated code actually gets accepted into a real code base without heavy rework, Opus 5 also edges ahead while running cheaper per task. SOL claws real ground back on knowledge task benchmarks though, where it holds a clear advantage over Opus 5. So this isn't a clean sweep in either direction. It's workload specific, and I think that's the honest way to frame it rather than crowning an outright winner. On pricing, both models charge the same on input, $5 per million tokens. Opus 5 comes in cheaper on output though, $25 against SOL's $30, which means Opus 5 is now the more affordable of the two on the output side, while also closing most of the intelligence gap to Fable 5 at the same time. That combination is what's driving most of the best value in the field framing circulating around. And honestly, I think that framing holds up. Even matching Opus 5's weakest setting requires spending over twice as much on competing models to get there. There's also a genuinely important access angle worth factoring in here. Opus 5 ships with noticeably more relaxed guardrails than Fable 5 carried, sitting at roughly the same restriction level as Opus 4.8, except in that narrow set of cyber-specific tasks we already covered. That matters a lot because Fable 5's stricter classifiers were exactly what pushed a real chunk of users towards SOL in the first place during the access rationing period a few weeks back. If Opus 5 removes that friction while staying cheaper and closing the intelligence gap, that's a second, completely separate reason people might switch back, beyond just the raw benchmark numbers. Which brings us to what Opus 5 is capable of doing and what the community is thinking, as this is going to make all the difference at the end. Community reaction to Opus 5 has been largely positive on the value proposition. Developers are highlighting strong initiative, genuine root cause debugging instead of superficial patches, real self-verification, and the ability to take over an environment with minimal hand-holding. Early users inside Cursor, Claude Code, and similar tools are reporting it as a clear upgrade over Opus 4.8, and token efficiency gains, fewer turns, fewer tool calls are being repeatedly mentioned by early enterprise testers, including teams at Harvey, Zapier, Cognition, Stripe, and several financial research labs. And the hands-on demos genuinely back this up. One creator had Opus 5 build a full Call of Duty zombie-style game clone, complete with multiple levels, purchasable weapons, a working point system, escalating enemy waves, and even a perk machine that doubles player health. All of it generated fully autonomously. No starter code base, no hand-holding along the way. The same creator also had it build a working macOS clone, complete with a functional top bar, sound effects on icon clicks, a working Siri simulation, individual apps you can actually open, and a notification tab, plus a separate Minecraft clone with working cave systems, water dynamics, and placeable light sources. So this brings us to who should go for Opus 5 and who should not, and what are the caveats to kept in consideration. Let's find out in the honest section. So there are a few things worth being direct about. The benchmark numbers throughout this video are Anthropic's own, less than 24 hours old, with independent verification still early. Treat them as a strong starting point, not the final word. The half the price framing is technically accurate on list pricing, but real usage, driven by actual token consumption, can shift that math depending on the task. Some sharper margins reported between Opus 5 and Sol, particularly on the hardest software engineering benchmark, also trace back to a single community source rather than multiple reproduced tests. My honest read, Opus 5 wins on coding and mergeability, Sol still wins on knowledge tasks, and the real deciding factor comes down to our actual workload, not one leaderboard number. Opus 5 is being adopted quickly as the new default for complex daily coding and enterprise agent work. Fable 5 is being reserved for the hardest, longest multi-day autonomous projects and for front-end heavy web development. A lot of testers are still reaching for Kimi K3 specifically. A lot of teams are running side-by-side tests on their own actual workloads rather than trusting any single leaderboard, which is honestly the right instinct. By the way, have you tested Opus 5 so far? And which model you think is the best one? Fable 5, GPT Sol, or Opus 5? Do share your opinion. Subscribe to my channel as I would be making some crazy deep dive videos into this new Anthropic release. I'll see you in the next one.